Yeah. Turn the music down. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are live. So, whoever's out there at YouTube land listening, we're back at it again. Okay, what are we working on today? So, it's been a minute. Took some time off. Had to take care of some business, and we are back at it. I guess a lot's happened since August last year. You know, I've been kind of getting back into it the past couple of weeks, but slowly but surely. And what's happening really is since we started this journey, I guess late 2024, and 2025 was basically just building. You know what I mean? Built my startup. Sold a couple of projects, and you know things are moving along. So this project right here it's a bit experimental. So I actually had somebody ask me if I could do something like that, and this is kind of like a proof of concept for a cattle ranch, or it could be adapted for cattle ranchers at large. You know, it could be a multi-tenant sort of deal. It could also be, you know, deployed for a single user. So I'm going to walk you guys through the process. I actually started this process with Stitch. So as you know, Google, they've been on their game lately, because you know Google it's always a hit or miss type situation. You know what I mean? But lately they've been putting out some really choice stuff. And one of which is Stitch. Stitch is basically a sketch pad, a front end design where you could basically prompt it, give it the parameters, your color scheme, what exactly you want, your hero section, your header, the about section, and you could create one page at a time or one component at a time, one section at a time. And I think it's pretty cool. And then once you're done with the design of whether it's your front end or your dashboard or whatever, then you could push it to AI Studio, Google AI Studio, and you could continue the project there. So that was my workflow: Stitch, then export to Google AI Studio, kind of finesse it over there, and then export it to VS Code. I actually synced it to GitHub, then cloned the repo locally, then imported it into VS Code. And I used a variety of different tools to kind of mess around with it. Gemini, of course, Gemini is just kicking butt these days. It's really capable. Claude Opus 4.5 is it? And what else? A couple of other tools, a couple of other LLMs that I use to basically kind of play around with it, the colors, and I kind of use like a frosted glass type of situation. So anyway, now today I basically fired it up with Gemini CLI. And I think, what are we running here? We're running Gemini 3 Flash and I guess Pro. I'm not actually using the Pro right now. It's just a Flash, and I think for testing purposes, that's actually more than enough. Okay. So what are we talking about here? So I just ran Gemini CLI. I mean, you guys know how to run Gemini CLI, so we don't need to go into that. So basically, what you do, you CD into your directory, right? Once I run it, CD into my directory, and then I enter. Once I'm into my directory, so I asked it to basically scan the code base and tell me about the project. So this is where we are now. So it went and did its thing. It scanned the code base, blah blah blah, and then here we are. So this is where we are. So let me just read a little bit for you guys. So it says this code base is a React single page authentication application, SPA or SPA for livestock management. Okay, it's basically an SPA for livestock management built with Vite and TypeScript. Okay, its architecture is local first, and here's a reason why. Let me explain a little bit what's going on. Of course, so it's designed predominantly for offline use. So imagine somebody's, in the savannah or wherever, or in the plains with their cattle grazing, and they don't have internet. Their service plan, whatever, doesn't, or there's no coverage. There's no service where they are in the middle of nowhere. So they're able to actually do their data entry offline. So the data is saved, locally, and then once they connect to an internet service, then the service will automatically sync with the back end. So in the meantime, I haven't really worked on the database or the back end yet. So all that's there right now is just the front end, and I'm running mock data just to show you guys a little bit of what's going on. So what do we have here? So the main, okay, the key architectural pillars are basically here we are. So key number one. So what do we have here? We see basically it's the data layer, right? The application's entire data persistence is handled service database.ts, data store rather than TS, which uses the browser's local storage as its database. It does not communicate with any remote server. The data store is seeded with mock data, as you just said, making the application fully functional out of the box. So right now you could actually use it, except you won't have persistent data once you clear your browser's cache. So anyways, just for testing purposes, so I need to demo this for a client. So this is the data architecture, the data layer, as you can see, offline use. It's ready to go out of the box. Point number two, all right. Point number two is basically offline first design. The data models, specifically livestock event, include synced Boolean flag, and the UI displays the network status. As you'll see earlier, I'll show the network status, so the user will know if they're online or offline. And of course, it's seamless. Once they're connected to a network, the system will basically just sync with the database without any issues. So the status. So this indicates a deliberate design for an environment with intermittent connectivity. Okay. So where data is stored locally and synced for future synchronization. Okay, and intended, for a future synchronization. So you store the data locally. So the cowboy or the cowgirl, the cow lady, the cow whoever is in the field, and they'll be able to enter data about anything related to cattle, whether it's disease, whether it's water access, whether it's grazing ground, feeding ground, grass, what type of grass is available, Napier grass or whatever other kinds of grass. I mean, I know there's more than Napier grass or all that type of stuff. And they'll be able to register to register death, birth, disease, all sorts of things. And of course, this could be adapted, with other services that will now allow people. Well, actually, it doesn't really need to be adapted, because once you're connected all the time. Let's say you use your 5G or 4G connection, then you'll always be connected. So once you input your data, it'll sync with the backend right away. So offline first, of course. If you're offline, you don't lose your data. As I hope that's clear. So point number 3, what do we have here? Point number 3 is role-based access. The application is split into 3 distinct user roles: admin, manager, and Nyapara is a Swahili word, and it means herder. I didn't know what that meant either. So when I got the brief and I had to research it. Oh, what's a Nyapara? And it's a herder. So Nyapara is a herder. So each with its own dashboard view, a central landing page component acts as a portal to these dashboards. And I'll show you guys what that looks like in a second. And point number 4. All right, so point number 4, what do we have here? So point number 4 is basically the application uses a standard React component model. React router DOM. Okay, so basically it's a hash router. It handles top level navigation while individual dashboards manage their internal views. For instance, users, analytics, herds, reports, and all that type of stuff. So using component state reusable components like sidebar and glass cards and we don't really have a header and a footer, so that's pretty much it. Our present. So this is what we got. Point number 5. Okay. What do we have here for point number 5? Point number 5, dependencies. Key dependencies include React, of course, for the UI, Vite for the build tool, recharts for charting. We got a bunch of anyway, you'll see the dashboard in a second. We got we visualize the data, so it'll be easier for the administrators and the managers to actually visualize what's happening and to be able to look at different metrics and see how they could best take care of their herd. And of course, we got JS PDF for PDF reports. We have also export for PDFs, which is again very important because they want to be able to download their reports and to keep track of what's happening. And of course, Lucid React for icons, and styling is done with Tailwind CSS, which, by the way, I just heard today, Tailwind is in trouble. I think they're losing a lot of money, so they might. I'm kind of scared because now if we lose Tailwind CSS, I guess we're gonna have to find a substitute, because once you use Tailwind CSS, you don't want to go back to vanilla CSS. It's a pain in the neck. So Tailwind, I hope they pull through. I hope somebody acquires them and then keep the ball rolling, at least the community portion of it, because they do have a paid service, which I think this is what's kind of suffering, because since people started vibe coding, a lot of it is being used, and of course that's not monetized. The community version is not monetized. So we got Tailwind CSS. I hope you guys can hear me out there. If anybody's out there, if you can hear me, just let me know. Just drop a comment. Just put a 1 or a thumbs up in the chat and let me know if you can hear me properly, because I am flying blind. I don't know if anybody can hear me. If anybody's watching right now, I see we got 2 viewers in the chat in the room. So let us know if you can, if it sounds good, if the music's too loud, or if the music is not loud enough or whatnot. So let us know if it's cool. So where were we? So that was point number 5. Okay. So code base insights. Okay, the project. Okay, this is where we are. Okay, this is where we are, folks. So the insights. So the project appears to be a well-structured but incomplete prototype, which is, that's spot on. So Gemini, good job. You saw exactly what was going on. So it is a prototype. Okay, it's an MVP, right? The data layer is local only, and same UI elements like charts. What do we have? We have charts. We have the presence of unused e-commerce related types. Okay, yeah, I mean, I kind of like put that there for future integration, but I might, I said, well, put it there anyway, because why not? Suggests the code base may have been cloned or repurposed from a template project. No, it has not been cloned or repurposed. It's just something that I had put in and I abandoned it. Okay, the term para in Swahili for a supervisor or foreman. Well, that's not entirely right. So Gemini, okay, here you fucked up because it means herder. I guess, yeah, I guess you could, in a wider sense, it could mean that foreman or supervisor. Which combined with the application's features points to its intended use in East African livestock management context. So this is pretty much where we are. We have somebody in the chat. We have Amar. Amar, what's going on? Hey man, what's up? You good? What's happening? So this is where the project is at, guys. It's basically, this is the MVP, the prototype. Put it together in, I would say probably in about an hour. Took about an hour to design the front end with Stitch, then to Google AI Studio. Then I I commit and push the repo to GitHub. Then from GitHub, clone the repo locally. Oh, that's probably why Gemini saw that it might have been from a different project that was repurposed, but it's actually my repo that I repurposed, that I actually cloned locally. Then I got into VS Code, did some work on it. Then ditch VS Code. Now I'm actually running Gemini CLI. This is what you're seeing here. So this is Gemini CLI. As you can see, here we are, and it's pretty good that it basically looked at the code base and it was actually able to see things pretty accurately, which I'm quite happy with. All right, guys, if you're coming into the chat, if you have any questions about the build, let me know, because we are going to be here for an hour, a couple hours or so. So let's switch gears right now to show you guys what's going on. Let's go to, all right, I want to show you guys a full screen of the code base. All right, let's do it here. A browser. Let's get that popping. Ponderosa. That's kind of like the working title for the project, but I don't know yet what I'm gonna name it. So it's pretty cool. All right, let's get rid of the chat. Let's get the browser. Stretch that bad boy out. Browser, come on, let's go. Browser. Let's reset. Right, okay. So here's a portal. So as I explained before, what you're seeing here, nope, not you. Let's switch that up as well. That's the code. Sorry guys, I should have set that up prior to all this fuffing around. All right, so here we go. So as I demonstrated earlier, this section right here. So we've actually got the role-based access to the application. It splits into 3 distinct roles, but now what you're going to see here is you'll see 2, the frosted glass, these 2 bad boys right here. Um, this is pretty much the access panel. The landing page is essentially, it's not a public, well, it is a public facing um, dashboard, but only the users will have access to it. It won't be something you could navigate to and then browse. There's nothing to browse. It's basically a portal for the admins and the herders, the workers, to log in and take care of business. So this is that. Let's see here. So that's what you're seeing here, the landing page, which is actually the entry point to the dashboards. All right, so we're clear. So here we are. So look at this. So here, the main thing here is basically to give the admin access to the dashboard, so he could actually create his accounts, his user accounts with different roles. That way he could limit what his workers have access to, because you don't want everybody having access to your, to your important bits of data, that they could manipulate the data, so to speak. So here we are. So we're at the admin portal. So once you get here, once you click here, you see admin right here. So you see the drop down will show you the options available. That could be anything here, but right now I have admin and manager. So admin is actually the super admin. I don't know if you guys could see that. There seems to be a delay of sort. Let's see. Can you all see the drop down? Yep, there seems to be a massive delay on the playback. I can't even see. Hang on a second, let me refresh right here. Browser. So anyway, on the admin panel, once I select admin, then I could log into the dashboard. So this is the dashboard. It's actually fully responsive, which again, remember, it's before we get into a mobile application, a mobile app. It's best to address these things, and this is fully responsive. So So once you want a smaller screen, all this would be, the sidebar will collapse, everything will kind of fall into place. So which is really cool. So here once again we have the report, to generate report, right? We do have a okay, because I know I'm not capturing everything, but yeah, you can see this right now. Notifications. What else we have? This is the dashboard. All the data points are here. Okay. So like I was saying earlier, once the herders in the field, they don't have internet access, they'll be able to input all the data, and it'll be immediately synced once they connect to a data point, and this will be available for the administrators or the managers or the admin to actually review and look at things. So this is what you'll see, the different things. You'll have the herd and the location, right? Exactly where they are. You'll have the herder's name, okay, timestamp when the event was recorded, and status will be either synced or pending. All right, so let me show you what that looks like. So this one is actually, there you go. So this hasn't been synced yet. Of course, this is simulated, so because we're not actually running the application with a backend to actually show you the full functionality, but this is what it would look like. It will say pending. Okay, so again, you have the herd, location, the herder's name, timestamp when the thing was recorded, and then also a note will be put here. So again, see here, notes, router trough replenished, boom. So the admin will be able to add their own notes as well, which in turn, all these notes will be actually exported with the what's the word I'm looking for? With the reports. Okay. So again, you could search for things, birth. There you go, search works. We have smart filters. I don't like that it jumps like that. I'd like it to stay stationary. See this? I don't really like that. So this all works. And again, at a glance, you'll be able to manage your herd very efficiently. For instance, here, herd volume. So you'll be able to see all your cattle, okay, the different grazing grounds or pastures, I guess they call them. So you'll be able to view all your stuff, okay. So here, you got 121 heads, 125, 141, etc., etc. And here what's missing is a total at the bottom. So we're going to put a total, see how many heads you got total. I mean, it's not hard math, but at least it should be there. And here, this is something that I added, basically expansion metrics. So it'll basically tell you capacity expansion, what exactly the trends are, if it's going to be beneficial or detrimental to your trajectory as a cattle rancher. For instance, if there's been a drought, or if there's going to be a drought, through accumulated data, which I guess for V2 will probably hook into a the weather API, to kind of forecast and predict and look at things over time, trends, and see when it might rain, when there might be a drought, so they could plan accordingly. My throat is dry. Excuse me. Let me grab a drink. It's empty. All right, so where were we? So here, so basically the capacity expansion will kind of give you an indication whether it's going to be beneficial for you to expand, or should you hold off on the expansion. So you'll see things like this. Okay. The colors will indicate at a glance also what is feasible, what's beneficial. For instance, here, the trend according to what the data says, right? So you could actually, for instance, Loida Plains East, you could accommodate 50 more heads. That's what this means, plus 50. If it was in the downward trend, you'd see minus 50 or 0, minus 5, whatever. It'll kind of work out the trend for you. This right here will tell you, well, you have enough room or enough resources to accommodate another 60 heads. Here you have another 40 heads that you could accommodate. And then it'll be, of course, we have to accumulate data over time to be able to predict. You're not going to be able to predict, to have this level of predictability right off the bat. You're going to have to accumulate some data over time, and then Eventually, this will be well populated with the capacity expansion, with you know, with enough data points. Here, what do we have? Okay, we have the trends here, trend analysis, weekly, daily, monthly. Pretty straightforward. Okay, here we have the stats cards. Total live assets. Of course, this is simulated. That's not real. Okay, regional vigor, all that type of stuff. So everything is at a stone's throw. So, and this is where we move to users. This is where the admin will be able to add users. So again, the roles, we have three distinctive roles. We can add more roles, but for now, it's basically the admin, it's a super admin, the herders, and the managers. Okay, and this is where you add a user. This is the modal right here to add a user. So here, full name, email, phone number, and their role. So here you can select your role: herder, manager, or admin. All right. And of course, once these are here, you can click on the card. These are the action buttons, and it'll show you who you're dealing with. User details, ranch administrator, admin, active, date created. See, yeah, that was created today. Well, yesterday, really, because of the time zones, the time difference. So, and of course, now we have a. There you go. This is a herder, active, date created. Of course, we could edit as well, so we could edit their information. Change roles, name, email, right? And of course, we could mark, for instance, active. See, I just deactivated this. Just at a click of a button, you could just activate or deactivate any particular user if they're misbehaving, and you block them out. So here we are. This is the user management. Okay, herd management. So this is the meat and potatoes. Get it? Meat and potatoes, steak. Right. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions, right, just shoot. We're here. So the herd. So the herd, and I'll show you where the herds are created. By the way, I mean we can create herd here as well. This is the super admin. So they're not going to be in the habit of actually creating herds because, yeah, they're here to manage. But they also have the capability to create herds, if not through the admin account, but also they could create it through a regular a herder account, and then pass the account to a herder. So here, once you hit this, then you have the details of the herd. So last location, because they might be moving from location to location, which I'll show you the map. The map hasn't actually been implemented yet, but I'll show you the implement, sort of like the mock-up. All right, you have the current location, you have the last update, so it'll tell you when it was last updated. Okay, then the population breakdown, it'll tell you the calves, how many calves do you have, heifers, steer, bulls, all that type of stuff. Okay, body condition, it'll tell you overall herd health indicator. Okay, because you want to keep it above the 3.5 and above. I imagine that's pretty good. But anyway, the cattle rancher will be able to feed me some more data so I can refine the system, right? And of course, you have recent events. This is where the herder will record the important information about the herd. So water access. Okay, do they have water access? Do they not have water access? They'll, a birth. They'll be able to register a birth as well. They'll be able to register a death. Okay, all that. So this is pretty cool. So it's pretty much the same thing, right? No event here, 3.9, 4 out of 5. So this is pretty much a good, right? A good herd. 3.9, good herd. 4.2, that's even better, right? So that's the herd management, um, sort of like at an overview of what's happening. They'll have more data points to actually see, um, health metrics or whatever, death, birth, detailed analysis of such things. So here we are, we have the operations. Again, this is where things will show up. All this information that's being passed, that's being recorded by the herder, and that'll be overseen by the managers to make sure everything checks out. Okay. Again, we have filters, birth, water access, all status, synced, pending, as you can see. Water access, all types, and here we are, all types. Right, so this is what I was talking about earlier. So this is the map, right? Of course, now it'll be a real map, okay? So it'll be sort of like a bird's eye view of the grazing ground, the plains, or wherever they are. So once you have a number of herds scattered around different plains, different grazing grounds, you'll be able to see the conditions here. See, once I click this location, this right here, I don't know if you guys could see my cursor. Anyway, it's highlighted in blue. It's the bouncing blue, right? So it shows us where we are. And all the right information. Well, there'll be more data points here. So you see current location, population, number of heads, the score. They'll be able to ask different data points. We'll be able to display different data points here. And again, this is another location. It'll jump right away to the location once you click on it to see all the information about said location. And here we are, one, again, another location. So this is what this does. And we have, of course, the analytics. I really like this analytics page. And the colors are quite soothing. I like the color palette when I chose it, of course. Then we have the population trends, then we'll be able to track over time, 6 months, 1 year, 3 months. I guess we could do it quarterly, or we could divide it whichever way. This I gotta talk to the herders, or actually the cattle rancher, to see what data points, what are their pain points, what will be beneficial to them, for insurance purposes or whatnot, for, let's say, once they decide to go to market to sell their cattle. So all this data will be important. Health score, trends again. Here we are. Event distribution. Again, we could add way more data points for death, birth, sickness, right? Disease, that type of stuff. And performance analytics, this will all be here. And of course, this is under the hood. This is what basically the admin will be able to basically register the company name, email address, and their location. Of course, here there'll be an avatar or a profile image, right? Security, of course, change your password, regular stuff. Current password, no password, confirm password. 2FA, SMS, authentication, okay, authenticator app. So we could actually do all that. So once the herders are in the field where they don't have access to internet, this will kind of become handy. All right, notifications, herd alert, sync updates, system maintenance, monthly reports, security alerts, blah blah blah. All that's there. And payment system. So again, this is what um, Gemini saw. I thought it was a remnant from another project. It's just I just put it there anyway, just in case we want to use it as a SaaS. So that'll be the payment management system, and then subscription models, that type of stuff. Okay, so this is what this is for. All right, so this is pretty much this is an overview of the admin panel. My throat is actually burning right now. My throat is dry. I had 2 meetings back to back today, online meetings, so talking. So my throat is actually quite raw right now. So let me go grab some water, as they say in Britain. Let me go get some water, and I'll be back. So if you have any questions, guys, just drop a comment. And again, if you've been here before, you know the drill. Drop a comment and like the stream so we can push it to more people. Okay, just drop us a like. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. All right, and let me go get some refreshment, some water, and I'll be right back. Sit tight. right, we're back. All right, so what are we doing right now? We've got Gemini CLI running. It's really nothing crazy. And again, I never really let the AI handle 100% of, and especially my back end stuff. Because remember, security is key, right? So I'd rather do a lot of that stuff offline. And anyway, I'm not a back end guy, so I have a guy that handles the serious stuff, the the meat and potatoes, as we say. So basically, what I asked, anyway, if you were here from the beginning, you saw that I had asked Gemini CLI um, to analyze the code base and report, and then it give me a pretty accurate description of what's going on. So now I've asked it, basically to write a plan, to formulate a plan to create a back end for the project. So at least I have an idea I do have an idea where we're going with it, but it says, okay, it says, of course, here's a detailed phase plan for developing a solid backend using Superbase and Docker for local development. This is usually my workflow anyway, which I had asked it. I had told it that I'll be using Superbase and Docker for local development. This plan focuses on migrating the existing application from a local storage-based architecture to a robust, scalable, and eventually online backend solution. This is not entirely what I want. I still want to have the offline first priority, because once these herders are in the field, they might be out there for days, for weeks, with no satellite connectivity. So I do want the local storage situation, right, to be present, to be first and foremost. Okay, so phase one, environment and tooling setup. This phase establishes a local development environment which is crucial for all subsequent steps. Okay, install Superbase CLI. Already have that done. Install, of course, globally. Initialize Superbase, done. Yeah. Launch. Okay, launch. Blah blah blah. Docker, of course. Phase two, database schema and seeding. Create initial schema. Yeah. This is all the same stuff. Okay. Create Superbase services. Okay. Refactor UI components. Systematically go through all components in the views directory. Okay. Replace all function calls. Okay. Async. Update component state management. That's good. It'll handle asynchronous nature of fetching data from the backend, of course. Asynchronous, because you don't want to ping the hell out of your server. It'll cost you an arm and a leg, or you might crash your server. Okay, this phase implements a secure and robust user management system using Superbase Auth and row-level security RLS. Create authentication. All right, boom. We're good. Sync strategy, phase 6, advanced features, which are server-side PDF generation. Okay, we need an edge function to handle the logic of using JS-PDF directly, which we might actually need something a little better, so we could style the PDF better. So we could actually, once we print, for instance, JSPF will not show us all these beautiful colors For instance, here on analytics. So we want to print all that. We want to print the cards with the right colors. The stats cards, the graphs, the bars, all the analytics. So we want to be able to print that and to represent that. And 4K and then color. So we might ditch that for something better. Real-time updates. Okay. Yep. Okay, for subscriptions, livestock events. Yeah, that'll be good. So no need to refresh. So it'll basically, I guess, we'll batch polling. We'll poll and then push all the data at the same time, so we don't keep pinging the server continuously. Code cleanup. Remove the non obsolete services. Oh, okay, yeah. That's anyway. We'll see about that. Delete the unused e-commerce types to improve code clarity. Yes, we'll do that. Testing and documentation unit. Okay, good. So I need to let this guy know that, by the way, yes, dictation is working. I am speaking. Okay. Gemini CLI. Somehow it's not picking up the voice. Anyway, I guess I'm just gonna have to type. So sit tight. I'll be right back. Yeah, right. So there was a bit of confusion on the part of Gemini. So I asked Gemini to actually revise the plan because it kind of wanted to get rid of the offline first hook. So says, yeah, of course, thank you for the clarification. This is what we got right now. Because it says you're absolutely right to emphasize the offline first requirement as the core principle of the application. The goal is not to simply move to an online only model, but to build a robust system where the local device is the primary data store for field work, with the backend servicing as a central hub for synchronization and advanced features. So this is the core. Because once the herders are in the field, they need to be able to input data, but then synchronize once they have internet access. The plan has been updated to reflect this hybrid offline first architecture. The key change is that we will not be replacing the local data service, but rather evolving it to intelligently sync with the Superbase back end. So he understood the assignment. What do you know? So here's the revised plan. Okay, we've already seen that. I've already got Superbase CLI. That's already done. Database schema, so we got to take care of that. That's unchanged from before. Okay, phase 3 evolve data layer for hybrid offline online. Okay, let's see what's different here. This is the most critical phase instead of basically online only. So we're gonna have both. All right. I think I'm being spammed here on Kick. What the hell's going on Kick? Hang on, give me a second, guys. Let me just see what's going on here, because I'm seeing a lot of moderator action. Things are disappearing. Messages are being deleted automatically. Let's see who's messing around. Alrighty. I think it's on YouTube. Somebody's trying to spam me with some BS. But anyway, I'm not even gonna read that stuff. It says show deleted message. Nah, I'm good. So well, good luck trying to spam me. All right, let's get back to it. Where we at? Phase 3. So the data layer is a hybrid offline online operation. So local storage. Okay, that's good. Local first. Okay, that's good. Create a new service to synchronize. So the transition from offline to the database. Okay, so upsync. When online, the service will query index database for all records where synced false. Good. Send them to Superbase in batches, of course. You don't want to, well, mind you, it's not going to be super heavy because it's just text. We're not going to be uploading images. Maybe later, maybe in version 2, version 3, we'll upload it more heavier data. Upon success, update local records to synced true. Then I guess that'll be operations right here. Let me show you guys real quick. So one, this is what we're talking about. So here at the bottom, these are synced, pending, as you can see right here. Synchronization status, pending. And this right here has been synced. So this is pretty much what at a glance you'll be able to see what's been synchronized and what's pending. So there's that. And new service inserted into the local index DB. This keeps the local database fresh. Good. Auth, of course, very important. Alright, blah blah blah. Okay, very important. Of course, rate limiting. Okay, this is role base. Offline, advanced backend. Synchronize, okay. Server side. PDF generation, okay, testing. Okay, let's see here. Authentication, build, login, sign up page using Superbase auth. Persistent session, after successful login in Superbase session, token will be started securely. The application will be function offline using the last valid session. Secure endpoints with role level system, okay, RLS. Example, role level security in Superbase. Create an application that ensures users can only access their own data. Okay, sync engine, unauthorized role base. Locally, great. Okay, real-time updates. Real-time listen for new events being synced. Yep. Okay, one thing I don't see is rate limiting, and let's see. Okay, let me just prompt Gemini one more time, because we need to. Although this is actually, I'm not actually coding the back end right now. I'm just spitballing with Gemini CLI. We need more security. To deal with SQL injection. Rate limiting. Goddamn mosquito. So basically, as you can see, basically, I don't see anything related to rate limiting in the plan. We need more security features to deal with SQL injection, rate limiting, whitelisting and blacklisting, etc. Please update. So let's send this downrange. See what's up. All right, Gemini, what say you? Of course, see, this is the thing about LLM guys. They'll always agree with you, right? But Gemini could have figured that out on its own. But you got to be verbose with these LLMs. You got to babysit them. So as you saw, as I had asked it before, I didn't see anything about security. Okay, but there's a role level service, security service, whatnot, super base, but it's not enough. We need to be explicit when it comes to SQL injection, when it comes to rate limiting, when it comes to Of course, nothing's 100% safe, but we gotta take precautions. We gotta basically um, do uh, what we can to mitigate the fact that there are a lot of people out there just waiting. They're just lurking, man, lurking in the shadows, just waiting to bust into your stuff. And if you're careless, if you don't protect your back end, or you don't, I guess this happens less and less now, where guys would hard code their API keys into into their code base, you know, which is the last thing you want to do. And you want to rack up a bill. You want somebody else using your API key, doing God knows what, and your bill is like $12,000. So you got to make sure you protect your environment, and of course, once you're on the internet, it's fair game. If you're sloppy, well, you're gonna get got. Okay, you're gonna get got, as they say in the hood. If you're sloppy, you're gonna get got. So you gotta be careful, guys. So anyway, so after I raised the point, well, I don't see any, security, like solid security in the plan. So it says you've raised an excellent and critical point. And it says a solid backend must be a secure backend. The previous plan focused on functionality but lacked a dedicated security hardening phase. I have updated the plan to include a new detailed phase that directly addresses your concerns about SQL injection, rate limiting, and access control, which is it's the least you could do. But then again, before you think about going live, you got to do a security audit. You got to test the hell out of the system before you even dare put it online. So it's why to take precautions. I mean, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm not going to code the back end right now, which I never do anyway. You never code your back end online, because as I said, there's a lot of lurkers. Even right now, somebody's trying to bombard my chat. Somebody's sending me messages which I'm not even gonna see. I'm not even going to dignify you so you could be seething in your mother's basement right now, because you're trying to get under my skin. You're trying to piss me off. You're trying to spew probably some hateful shit. Probably some miserable bastard in his mother's basement, or in his dingy little apartment, in his fucking tidy whities, but it's no longer white. It's full of holes, and it's got Cheeto dust all over it. Probably got a wife beater on with Cheeto dust or fingerprints, with ketchup and mayonnaise, or that bullshit that they eat on his t-shirt, and just trying to spew some hate. But technology, right now I'm not even seeing your bullshit messages. So yeah, go ahead, just piss yourself off by yourself and your miserable existence. Just go ahead. All right, on with it. Phase 1, okay, environment and tooling, that's still the same. Database, unchanged. Phase 4, authentication and role, backend access. Okay, log, that's already done. Auth, persistent session, of course, securely, okay, JWT for offline use. Role-based UI, that's done. Security hardening, okay, this new phase is dedicated to implementing multiple layers of security to protect the application and its data. So paragraph 5.1, this is where we are. Prevent SQL injection, primary defense, strictly use Supabase.js client library query builder, select, insert, blah blah blah. Industry standard, okay, against SQL injection. But then again, this is theoretical, guys. It doesn't mean I'm going to implement this right now. I'm just spitballing. I'm just going to show you guys how to approach this in a systematic way. Security review. Any dynamic SQL within these functions must use format. Okay. For identifiers to prevent injection, vulnerabilities. Raw, unsanitized user input must never be concatenated into SQL strings. No concatenation. All right, cool. That's legit. That seems good. Enforce strict authorization with role level security, RLS. Defense and okay, depth. Enable RLS. Blah blah blah. Okay, good. Livestock events. Select, insert, update, delete. Fine. Right. That's the other point that I had raised. Basically, user blacklisting. Okay, active, blocked, instantly. Okay, blah blah blah. Whitelist. Yeah, that seems pretty solid. So this is pretty much how I would approach this this implementation, is to kind of spitball it with the LLM. Of course, it's always good to have a human in the loop. You know, if you're not a back-end guy, get yourself a back-end guy. You could do the preliminary work, you know, which is it's pretty easy to do the scaffolding, to put the structure together, whether you use SQL, MongoDB. I guess MongoDB is having issues now. There's been some security issues. Let's say SQL or whatever you choose to use, right? Make sure you get a guy who knows what he's doing, like who does this thing for breakfast. You know what I mean? Who eats this thing for breakfast. And make sure, you know, if you got to spend a couple of dollars to have an expert take care of this thing for you, this is what you got to do. I think my camera just died. So anyway, if you guys are out there, if you can hear me, just you have any questions, just drop me a comment, drop me a message, and like the stream. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes, yes, y'all. All right, so that's pretty much the back end. It's just the back end, guys. We are we're doing good. All right, so we have saved the plan, which I'll probably refine it and tighten things up a little bit. But it seems pretty solid. I think I might use this as a base for for the back end implementation. And pretty much that's pretty much it, guys. Oh, I wanted to show you guys the I wanted to show you guys the other accounts. So in fact, let's do that. Probably, what are we? We're running an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm not gonna do these long ass streams anymore. Last year I was pushing 10 hours, 12 hours. I think the record was 14 hours or something like that. Uh, I might do a few of those soon enough. But for now, it'll just be, I guess last week I probably did 4 hours or so. I think 4 or 5 hours. That was the longest I've done in a while. So I'll try to keep it concise, keep it brief, and bring you some content on this type of stuff. So here, I'm on the admin. I'm gonna log in now with the manager's account. As you can see, remember, the admin, the admin dashboard has everything, right? So basically, to have access to the dashboard, right? The main dashboard, the users, herd, operations, maps, analytics, and of course settings to manage everything. And here on the admin, which you can't see the drop down because I'm not actually sharing the screen, I'm sharing the tab. So now I've selected manager, so you can see this now. Manager account. Once I log in, as you can see, The manager has access to the dashboard, the analytics, of course. This is immutable, so nothing can be changed here. Herd, right? So all the manager can do, which I haven't done yet, is add notes, right? To make sure the data is not tampered with. All you can do is add notes. Can't delete notes, that's not yours. So that's the operations. These are also just read-only maps. Again, this is where you see your different pastures, where your cattle is grazing, etc., etc. And analytics, right? That's pretty much it. And we could either decide to give them access to print the data or not. But as a manager, I believe the manager should be able to print reports and receive notifications, whatnot. So that's manager's account. So now we're back on the landing page once again. So on the landing page, as you'll see here, remember, I didn't know what that word meant either, because para means a supervisor or a herder, basically a cattle ranch, not a cattle rancher, but the rancher would be the administrator, the guy who owns the cattle. Nyamapara is the guy who handles the stuff, who basically takes care of the cattle, who goes and graze them and do all that stuff. So here we have, I believe we have 3 users set up. This is Kibet, this is another guy, and this is another guy. So once I access their account, I select, they'll be able to come here to the portal, select their name, and this is what they'll see. And remember, most likely, not to disparage anybody, but most likely the herders won't really be tech savvy or I would say well educated for the most part. So we had to make this as easy as possible, as simple as possible to do data entry, right? So here, as you can see, they have two locations. This particular herder manages 2 locations. And how they do this is basically, once they have an assignment, which could be set up by the administrator or by the manager or even by the for instance by a herder who's a field supervisor. For instance, you see senior guardian, and he's also a field supervisor. So it could be done by the field supervisor, right? Where basically he could come here. Once he logs in, this will be empty. There won't be any cards here. Once it's new assignment, right? So he'll be able to hit the fab right here, right? Once he hits the fab, this is what he'll be presented with. So here we'll have the herd name. You'll give it a name, the location where you are, the pasture, whatnot. And here you'll be able to give the body condition a score, which will be managed automatically later, but this is just for demo purposes. Then you'll be able to have a head count, okay? Initial count for calves, heifer, steer, and bull. So you'll have all these work out for you. So now once you create a herd, then you'll be able to enter critical data. There's some data points missing, right? There, for instance, here we see birth. You'll be able to register a birth, right? This is what you'll see. Commit to ledger. You'll be able to register death, of course, if any of the cattle dies, so you'll be able to register that. So that way you could manage, you keep accurate count of your herd, right? Current location, because you're going to be moving from location to location, and then each time the location will be recorded. And of course you have water access. We're missing feeding, so we'll put feeding here as well. For instance, how's the grass condition? How's the feeding? Are you supplementing? All that type of stuff. Are there any troughs? Are there any only rivers or a clean water source? All that type of stuff will be registered here. So Loiter Plains West, right? So this is where we are. Again, you'll be able to enter any of these and log. See, there's nothing logged here, so we could log one right now. For instance, we could say death. We're not gonna do that actually. So this is what you'll see, okay? And of course, once the herd is in the field, the herder will see this right here. I don't know if you can see that, top right corner, the green Wi-Fi icon. It'll be red once the herder's in the field. It'll be red, and then once he's connected, and it'll turn to green, and then it'll sync directly to the back end to store the data that was logged while he was offline. So here, once again, we have his information. Log out. So we'll log it into another account. You won't really see any difference. Okay, except you'll see he's assigned to different locations, different pastures. There we go. All right, so this is a different herder, third herder. Again, all right. So this is a different location. Different head count. Again, this is a good herd, 4 out of 5 score. That means no death, no disease, well fed, looking good. And here, yeah. And guys, this is fully responsive, by the way. Good. We have 2 issues, nothing crazy. Okay, nothing crazy, just favicon, so favicons missing, which I haven't created that yet, so that's an easy fix. Clear that. Sources. All right, cool. So let me show you guys real quick. Let's let's log into the admin panel. So it's responsive, as you can see. I don't know if you could see this, but the sidebar collapses automatically once we reach a certain screen size. All right. Here we go. Users, this is analytics. No, it's actually operations. That's the map. This is analytics. All right, so now watch what happens once I go to a bigger screen. The sidebar expands automatically, and of course the logo actually triggers the sidebar collapse and expand as well. So here, just, if you're on a small screen, what is this? This is a 30, I guess. Yeah, that's a 32-inch. So there's a lot of space for things to kind of spread out, but most people are going to be using on their laptops or on a mobile device, on a cell phone, so it's plenty of space too. Yeah, and it's responsive. It's not 100%. It's not fully, so I still need to tweak it a little bit. But it's looking pretty good. Right, and Ponderosa. I don't know. Any of you got the reference right there? The Ponderosa. Ponderosa is yeah. I mean, if you know, you know. Just research Ponderosa. Ponderosa. You'll see what it's all about. Yeah. So we're at the 2-hour mark. It's been real, ladies and gents. It's been nice. So again, drop a like if you're coming into the stream for the first time. Drop a like. If you have any questions for me, I'll be here for a couple more minutes. Yeah, if you have any questions, just go ahead, shoot. I'm here to answer your questions. Meanwhile, I think we are good to go. Thank you very much. See y'all later. Symmetry, X and Y, it's destiny. Groove with the complexity. Graph it out, calculate. Our love for numbers never late. Patterns flow, it's our fate. Rock the math, we innovate. Graph it out, calculate. Our love for numbers never late. Patterns flow, it's our fate. Rock the math, we innovate. Graph it out, calculate. Our love for numbers never late. Patterns flow, it's our fate. Rock the math, we innovate.